Hey, it's producer Rob. We've got Jeff and we've got Bart over here.
Guys.
Thanks for tuning in. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, thank you very much. Yes. If you're listening to us right now, that means you're not seeing us, but you can see us if you want to. Just go to Jeep Beach Official on YouTube, and you'll be able to find out everything that we've done in the past, most of them anyway.
That's a scary thought.
Videos. Yeah. And if you are watching this and you want the audio portion of it, all your favorite podcast platforms will cover that.
Yes.
So, ready for the show?
Ready.
You ready?
Yes,
we're ready.
Thanks for tuning in. Here we go.
It's now time for another episode of the Off-Road Toolbox. A Jeepers guide to everything off-road. Powered by Best Price Trailers.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. What's happening, Bart?
I'm just laughing.
Yeah.
Today is going to be a fun day.
No, it's Pick on Me Day today.
Yes, it is Pick on
It is.
Producer
It is.
Day.
It is. So it'll be some fun.
Shall we pick on the size of a shoe?
I don't know.
How small his hands are?
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
You guys are just not right.
No.
Well, I'm never right.
Yeah. All right. So I know what we're going to talk about.
We're going to talk about
buying a
used.
used
Because you're in the market for another Jeep.
You know, I have a story too. So
Yes.
we
Go
can
ahead. Go ahead.
Well, the story is this. You know, when Danny and
When we
the
did-
gang from
Yep.
Daytona, Dodge, the
Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram,
Dodge, yeah, I
something.
could never
Daytona
get that.
Garage.
That's
Yes.
yes, right. Daytona Garage makes it a lot easier.
Yes, it does.
It's the dealership here in
Yes.
town.
And they're only one of our big sponsors.
Yeah, they're great people.
Yes, they are.
And we were talking about, I have a yellow 2005 Rumblebee that it's a Dodge Ram pickup.
So
and
basically
it's
a
in real good shape.
1500 pickup that's got
Yes, the Rumblebee package.
But it's
yeah.
kind of a classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not a whole bunch of them.
No, there's not many. They made them 2 years,
Okay.
05 and 04 and 05,
Yeah.
I believe, or it was 05 and 06. Either way, I've got one of them. I had it restored, sort of. The paint had it all done. I think we had talked about this in episodes a while ago.
That's back when we first started doing the podcast.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is a couple of years ago, and
Yep.
the truck's fine. It's holding up good, but I have got my eye on a Jeep. I want another Jeep. I want a new one.
What are you looking at?
Well, I've been looking at a lot. I go on to all
I know.
I've been sending you links.
He sends us all these
Boy, I
messages.
tell you
What do you
what,
guys think of this one?
Yeah, I know it. I
Did you
do.
not listen to our show?
Yeah, I listen. Of course, I listen.
Yeah.
God, you
In
forced
one
me
ear, not
to.
the
for
other.
Crying out loud.
Holy mackerel.
But hang on a second. So
Go ahead.
the one that I did like that was down in Melbourne.
Yes.
that
Yes.
was gone in a day.
That was a clue.
That was so.
That was a good deal.
I knew that was a good deal.
And
was a
plus,
good
it looked like it was kept up
Yeah.
from what you had showed us
Right.
as far as maintenance. So
Yes, it was
that makes a
nice.
big difference.
Yes.
I've seen a bunch, and I've got them saved. You know, you can favorite a lot of these.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I've got like 12. You know, and now it's down to 6 because they're all gone. The ones that I like. You know, I'm just kind of looking around. What I want to do is this: sell my Rumblebee,
Okay.
$10,000.
Yep.
And take that 10 grand and roll it into this. There's one that I like. It's over at Daytona Dodge. Now, Danny, I told her 10 grand. She said she could find somebody.
Right. She
So,
said she'd look and you know,
so just today, this kind of thing happened out of the blue. I'm like, Danny, you remember, I asked him 15. I said, well, I got my eye on a Jeep. I'll take 10 if you know somebody. So she goes, hey, can you talk to Chris? And I said, oh, man, here we go.
Yes.
It's the song, the Dog and
know.
Pony Show.
Don't belly up to this bar.
It's okay.
You're talking to the experts,
Dude,
and they're going to come and give the
hang
sales
on.
pitch.
No, look, I already
Got it.
went through it. I went through and I gave him the
Yeah.
VIN number.
Yeah.
He'd already seen what the truck looks like,
Yeah.
pictures of it anyway.
Right.
And, they go KBB. And I'm like, guys, it's like $5,000. Of course, it's 20 years old. You're not going to
Yeah.
get the value for what. So I'm like, this isn't why I got a hold of Danny.
Yeah.
This is the sales guy's being a sales guy, which is fine.
Yes.
And he's a real cool dude, nice guy. And I talked to his manager, who was even cooler, because they came back with numbers. Said, "Look, we can give you $5,000." And I said, "Guys, look, I want to sell this, and I was going to take that money, put it down."
Yes.
The deal I wanted and what I'm looking for, they have a Rubicon, a 2-door Rubicon that's there, real nice. Oh, it's an 18, 36,000 miles on it.
that's low mileage.
It is low mileage.
It's
For
low
that
miles.
year. Holy crap.
But you find
Yeah.
out with people with Rubicons,
Yeah.
usually they're older folks and
Because they could afford it when
they
it was
can afford it,
brand
They-
new.
and
Yeah.
they don't beat it up.
No.
and it might be a second or third car for them,
Right.
So that you're going to have good,
So
great mileage.
I
that.
like this, and I've
Yes.
seen it, and I've had it saved, and
Yes.
it's still there. So I'm like, look, one of them. I told her, I said, one of them is what you've got,
Yep.
So I was talking to Chris, and he comes back and he said, "Well, we really can't, we can't." I said, "No kidding." I said, "I wasn't looking for you to give me 10 grand for this unless you wanted to buy it outright."
Yeah.
Naturally, selling it outright is better than
Yes.
trading
without
it
a
in.
doubt.
It's
I mean,
always the
Go
key.
as a private seller.
Yes.
So long story short, he wants to see the truck. The manager does. He goes, "Just bring it by tomorrow." He goes, "There's a bunch of people coming in tomorrow. I want to see it." So maybe they're able to find somebody who's willing to spend 10 grand for this
Or
truck.
they may know somebody
That's
right off
it.
the bat.
Yes.
Because in
They all
theory,
know people.
it's going to be a classic here
Yes.
pretty soon.
Yes.
It already is.
Yes.
No, not- is
well,
it?
it's
It's an 06.
It's 20. It's 05. It's 20.
05?
It's 20 years old.
Yeah, but isn't 20 years when it becomes a...
I think they changed. I
think
don't
it's
know
25
about,
years.
I think it's
Okay.
25 in Florida now.
I think it's 20.
And they have a lot of contacts, and they know a lot of
That's it,
collectors,
and that's why.
and they know a lot of people.
Correct.
So
Correct.
if you're listening, if you want to make the deal, help sell the truck.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's what.
Get
That's,
motivated.
That's why they said, "Can you bring it by tomorrow?" Okay.
And
So I'm
here's
gonna go
what
by
I'm going to
tomorrow.
say: that Rubicon sitting on your lot's costing you money.
Yep.
Tick, tick, tick.
Exactly.
They know
You
that.
got it. You got to
And-
come up.
and I-
Come on. You
and-
got it.
In addition to that, it's towards the end of the month. When this
That's it.
drops, it's actually going to be the beginning of June.
Yep.
I
Right.
believe. I
Yep,
can't
yep.
always. We always record
Yes.
these a couple of weeks in advance. So it already June. So we record this. It's
Yes.
before Memorial Day.
Yes.
Yes.
The recording. So it's the end of the month. That's why I figure, okay, let me see what I can do here. And
Yep.
if somebody's interested, fine. So that's my story there. But there are others that I have saved that on Auto Trader that are pretty good too. Some of them they're not Rubicons, and they have low miles.
Yes.
And they also have more toys on them, more things, aftermarket parts, meaning nice bumpers, a winch, tires and rims, a little bit of a lift. I mean, I don't know particular what everything is.
Yes.
But for the price and the low miles, I wouldn't do this much with a Rubicon. Rubicon stock, it's going to stay stock. I would not want to do anything to it.
You'll get the itch and you'll dress it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Probably
not
put
quite.
bumpers on
Not-
it, but not
no.
go crazy.
I mean, it's
If
a
it's
great
got-
vehicle
yeah.
right out the door.
Bumpers would be the first thing
Yeah.
I would ever do.
And right out you don't have to do anything.
Right. Right.
With the Rubicon, you really don't. And
Everything's
especially
there.
for this, from North Carolina all the way down through Florida.
Yeah.
The stock Jeep is going to go through anything.
Well, it's not even.
Anything you want to go, but if you want to go to
as far as
your
aesthetics
Rari,
go.
if
Right.
you want to,
That's different.
oh no, why? You can go your
Really?
Rari with with a stock Rubicon.
With stock Rubicon.
Yes,
okay.
you can. Very, very capable vehicle.
Now I do
Very.
the rims, the wheels. I like this. I like those on the Rubicon. I've always liked
That's a
that.
special package rim.
And I do like that. Sometimes they come out with these rims that I just don't
Yes.
like. Nobody. I mean, obviously, you buy a stock, stock Wrangler.
it's
you're
got
gonna
steelies on it.
Yeah, yes.
steel, which are fine if you're going to beat them up. But
yeah, but the Rubicon's got a better
it's a
wheel.
real nice. It's a
Yes.
nice setup. It's white. It's nice. So we'll see. We'll see. He also, they didn't come down to where I want. Here's the thing: it's like 30,000. I said, you can come down to 25, and I give you 10. I finance 15. And that's what I did when I bought that truck used
right.
years and years ago. So I'm like, I'm comfortable there. And I, like anybody else, when you make your loan payments, if you have a little extra money, you can throw some more at it. And
Yes.
I did that with the truck, and I think I took at least 6 months off of paying on the truck, if not longer.
Yeah,
When
I'm down,
I- 'cause
to,
I would,
I'm down to 10 grand on mine.
Yeah.
I've only had it 3 years.
Okay.
It's supposed to be 6 years.
See, yeah, and you're throwing some. If you
I'm
got extra
throwing
cash.
extra cash at
yeah,
it.
that's the way to do it. If
I'm
you
getting
can do
old.
it. Yeah, no. So I'm like, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That'll have to be the future episode. We'll discuss
the
that one.
That's the hard part is getting them to come to where you want.
Right.
They're going to try to dictate to you, this is what it is. This
Right.
is what we can do. We can't do any better.
Yeah.
But then as you're walking out to, oh, wait.
Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do that. Look, guys.
Can you
don't-
throw another $1,000 down?
No.
on it?
And then here's
I
what
told-
here's
I
what I'm going to
said-
say.
I said absolutely. There is no money
Yep.
out of my checking account. It's going to be the truck. That's it.
And that's what I would say.
Yeah.
If you can't help me,
Well, they
hey,
know that.
And I would say, if you help me sell it, I'll buy your Rubicon. If you don't help me sell it, when I sell it, where am I going to go shopping?
Right.
Any place.
Anywhere.
You know,
I'll have
so-
that money. Can do anything I want with it.
Motivation.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. That's a to be determined. But you're right about. I've just been doing a lot of research on these things.
Oh, he's been sending us, folks, sending us all kinds of stuff.
What do
you guys think of this one?
What do you think?
Yeah.
And it
And
depends.
it's okay. I mean,
It's
that's
good.
what
That's what friends are for. And that's
Yeah.
what, sounding anything off, looking, where's it coming from? We talked about Carfax.
Yeah.
I
look at those.
Well, I do too, but if I get down to it, I would actually pay and have it run myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm saying some dealers might counterfeit, but I would want to verify
Double
it,
check.
I would double check it.
Yeah.
Not that maybe it's
The one
my
I
prior
did,
career.
you know,
my prior
the
career.
one I did send you, I think sold, that one in Jacksonville.
Yep.
That was a nice one.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it did have the motor issue where they replaced.
It was the electronic issue.
Well, and no, they also the gaskets.
Yes.
Ah.
So it had to have
Both.
Head gasket.
Head
Gasket,
gasket
gaskets.
and
Yep.
everything.
So that's that's a telltale. Like, did it get hot or what happened to it?
That's the question. But it was redone, and it had all the it really not. It had bumper, it had winch, it had the tires and rims. It was lifted. It was
Had a
sharp,
lot of eye
low,
candy.
A lot of low miles. It was low miles too.
Yeah. But it changed hands quite a bit.
That
Yeah,
was
it
one of
did.
the things
That was one of the
concerned
flags.
me. It's like it
So
was
why did it
here,
change
it
hands?
went there.
Why did it
came
change
back,
hands?
It went
Because-
there.
So was it?
But it was changing hands from dealer lots. That's the thing. They weren't selling it on the lot. And you remember
They
now-
didn't have interest in it
Yeah.
because they probably were showing that Carfax and people were going, oh yeah, no,
Well,
I'm not too sure."
that Carfax, he just the ones in Jacksonville actually did the work on that. There was not that wasn't on.
Okay.
there. So
Okay.
that was just recently done. So, but yeah, I think it's gone anyway. So,
It's interesting because one of our guys has no one of our guys out at Cracker Ranch has 300,000 miles on his 3.6.
Oh yeah,
wow.
Big
Well,
J.
how much work?
Big J.
How much work has he done on it? Had done on it?
not much. I mean, the only thing
fluids, oil
Fluids,
changes, and then when they got that was it the oil?
It's plastic.
the oil
They-
cooler.
You got to
that-
you got to buy the
he-
aftermarket
yeah, he goes,
metal. Or,
other than that, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just been tune-ups and everything. He goes,
and he doesn't beat it to death either.
but he drives from,
He drives
here,
from
to
here to Jacksonville all
every
the
other
time.
2 days on, 2 days off. So he's driving,
so he's on the highway a lot. Just
Yeah.
highway
but
miles.
still 300,000 miles.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and plays with us wherever we go.
Yeah,
Off-roading and stuff.
and he goes out too. Is
Yes.
when people get stuck, he'll go out and help them out. to get
Really?
them unstuck, yeah.
So I mean, that's just impressive. So that shows, preventive maintenance on the 3.6.
It's huge.
It's huge. And taking care. And he bought his, and he's hoping to keep it a couple more years.
Yeah.
That's just, he's outdoing me. But I'm not driving to Jacksonville every day like him.
I drive to Orlando every day. Well, not every day.
But that's 40 miles you drive.
29 miles one way,
it's not
so
bad.
like 50 miles a
He's
day.
driving 90
Oh, I know.
one way.
Better him than me.
I know. I know.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And I don't like driving from Ormond to Daytona on Beach Street.
And then he had the BFGs on it, and he got almost 90,000 miles on a set of tires. That's unbelievable.
Yes.
That's what we talk about tires a lot.
You got to rotate those things.
He does.
You
He
really
does.
do.
He-
But now
he's
here's the
faithful.
thing too. Oh, go ahead.
He's faithful in his maintenance.
Yes.
He will rotate them tires at 5,000 miles. He'll get his oil
Oil
changed.
changes,
5
fluid differential fluid changes, antifreeze. It does everything.
And here's the thing too: is that it's always good if you have 5 tires to rotate.
And that's
It'll
what
last a lot longer.
I do.
Yeah. Instead of just the normal 4.
Yes.
Without the spare in the back.
Yeah, I rotate all mine through.
Yeah.
So you're looking for. Well, let's get it right. What years are you looking for in your Jeep?
Oh man, I just for me it's miles, and that's the key. Low
right.
miles, and it's got to be clean. The Carfax has got.
Yes.
There's a couple of them that have some minor front end damage, but they have different bumpers on them anyway. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Right.
all right, well, it depends on what kind of structural. Minor, it always
Right.
says
As long as
minor.
the
no
airbags
yeah.
are deployed,
No airbag
Yes.
deployed.
you're good.
Yeah. No airbag deployed.
My daughter Kaylee, with her TJ,
Yeah.
has been rear-ended at the same Dunlawton, but on other sides of Dunlawton by 95.
Dunlawton is just such
she
a-
just stops at a light and somebody runs in the rear of her. So she's had 3, right? And the only thing they had to do in all 3 of them was replace the once rear tailgate, and the other one was a spare tire carrier. No other damage. Literally no. Her bumper is still the original bumper we got for aftermarket and everything.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good. Those are good bumpers.
It's a good. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It was a good bumper, no frame damage, no nothing else. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the
so
key.
when I-
That's a big key.
so when I was looking at, before I bought mine, if it had an accident, I would pay the extra money and get the accident report and read the report.
Right.
And in some cases, I was actually going to go to Texas to get this Jeep. It was a private party sale, and it was an LJ. It was an 06 Rubicon LJ.
Oh, those
I
are
re-
beautiful.
I really
love
want-
those. There's a couple.
Yeah, I know.
Wilson's right down the street here.
Yep.
So, I see it all the time.
And it was a good deal.
It's
and
I'm
she had-
tempted to
Yep.
those LJs, but man, they're old.
They are. That's what I
What,
wanted.
you picking on
No,
my
no.
LJ?
No, I love them.
But it's going to be your daily
It's
driver.
my daily driver.
It's going to be your daily driver.
You know, I
I
have
would
an old-
daily drive mine if I get it put back together.
Okay, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So when I was looking at it, and so I actually pulled the accident report, and that was the hang up because people, had a reported accident. So I paid the $6 and got the online act.
Yeah.
And being my former profession, I can read an accident report. I can look at everything. She only had a couple $100 in damage to her bumper. Again, somebody hit her in a parking lot. It was a parking lot, everything.
Parking lot,
now the other car had $3,000 in damage because it was all plastic.
Yeah, plastic stuff.
So I was like, oh, this is it. This was it.
Now, speaking of which, Tom, producer Tom,
Yep.
he has a Grand Cherokee, but his wife rear-ended somebody, and the bumper's plastic and
Yep.
all that. But he had somebody he thought was they took it apart to see if he could, instead of paying the deductible to see if they could fix it and try to do this. And now there's too much underneath structural.
Yes.
So it's going to be thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Because that plastic bumper didn't protect some of the integral parts of the underneath of the. And that's the problem with a lot
They're
of
made
cars
like
nowadays.
that, though. They're made to have crumple zones.
Yeah.
Crumple zones and
Well,
shock absorption.
Unless you had a steel bumper, then you wouldn't have to worry about that
Right.
stuff.
Like
That's
with
that's
Kayla's
the
Jeep.
issue.
Here's the issue with Kayla's Jeep. It
Right.
shows that.
That's-
In the other cars were, I mean.
So let's go back to this LJ thing. Are you looking at getting some kind of LJ? Or
Oh, no,
something?
that's when I was looking for this. And then
Okay.
actually, I was getting ready to book the online tickets, right? And I was going to fly over there, get it, I had everything all lined up, even an auto shop to go look at it. And I'm like, I'm right. I'm going to my wife, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And this was 10, 11 years ago. That's how long I've had this one, right? So I'm doing it and I'm on it. And we're in bed, and I turn to my wife, and I'm like, having an LJ is not going to be good. At that time, my Noah was 6 months old.
You need a 4-door.
I needed a 4-door.
Yeah, you need.
And that's what she goes. So I said, I guess I'm getting a 4-door. She goes, I didn't want to tell you this. I didn't want to wreck your dream because that was what you want. And that to me is the classic.
Right.
For me, that one was it. And so then that's how I ended up getting this one. And I had to go to a dealer. And we bantered back and forth. And I walked out the door. And then I saw it 2 days later for $800 less than I gave him an offer. And I had cash money. I had cash money back then. I was rich back then. So I said, look, I called the guy back up and I said, it's lower than I offered you. He goes, is it? And he looked it up. He goes, oh. I said, just pull the keys. I'm driving over now. Here, I'm buying it. And I stroked him a check and drove it home.
It was back when you had money.
Back when I had money. And one time I was a high-paid guy,
Now here we are.
Here we are.
Doing a podcast.
I would still do the podcast. I
what
would.
mean,
But I'm not traveling all over the world and I'm not getting paid,
You're
mid
just
six
hanging out,
figures.
entertaining us with your stories.
And I don't have to just like at the end of the day, hey, I'm alive, but here, except for driving, my only stress.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. If I
Just
stress,
going down Peninsula. For
just
crying
going
out
down.
loud.
Yes. How people can't drive,
It's
Try
a lot
I-4.
of-
I used
I-4 is
yes.
even worse.
Guys,
I
I'm
know.
getting ready. I'm getting ready to go North Carolina.
Oh, you're in for
That's
a
not
world.
bad. Just Jacksonville. Once you get through Jacksonville,
Oh, you kidding? No
you,
way.
you
dude.
get through
I'm
Jacksonville, you
tell-
go up 95,
Yeah,
take 26, you cut up.
No, no. I take 95. You go into South Carolina
Yes.
where it's 2 lanes.
Yes.
Each side.
Yep.
And there's traffic all the time.
I know.
All the time.
Especially
I
around
go-
Charleston.
I got to go up to it's past Charleston. I go up to Florence.
Okay.
I go 52.
Okay.
But it's just a pain in the butt. Coming back is even worse because they usually have you get off at Ridgeland.
Yep.
And you got to take 17, which parallels
Yes.
95, and you're going through, and there's a line of cars there. It's just a headache. So I'm going to try. No, I'm not going to say
Nighttime.
I'm going to try, but getting my girlfriend up
Yep.
and to get her going
Just
is
throw
going
her
to
in
be.
just throw her in the truck and go.
You think
We're
it's
hoping
easy.
you're in your new
Here's your-
Jeep.
here's your
We're
pillow.
hoping you're in your new
Yeah,
Jeep.
no, that's the thing. I might have the new. I'm not going to have. I know it's not.
You
they're
don't
not gonna
know.
Get, no,
You may.
guys. I would put money on the fact that it's not happening.
Oh, come on.
There's not. It's
Got to have a little bit of hope.
Look, here's the thing too. He didn't want to come down to 25. He wanted to come down to 27. So that's 2,000 more, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know I
Once
know
they-
the number.
But
right?
here's the thing: is once they see your vehicle, they may come down to that.
They
'Cause
might.
it's-
Yeah, they might. I mean, but they got to find a buyer.
Trust me.
Unless somebody, I don't know how that world works.
Trust
I
me.
know
They're-
the number I
they
need
probably
to be
are.
at.
They're probably. Hey, I got this
Yeah.
bumblebee coming
That's what
in.
they will.
Everybody
interested
calls
in it?
Bumblebee.
Yeah? Okay.
Why do people still call it a bumblebee? I know
Because that's what it is.
It's a rumble.
No,
it's a
rumble.
bumblebee.
It's
It's
a
a bumblebee.
rumblebee package. Rumblebee package.
Bumblebee.
So back in the 60s, there was the bumblebee.
Super bee.
Yes.
It was the super bee.
But it was still a
This is
bumblebee.
put-
It
this
was
is-
still the
It
bumblebee.
was paying homage to that vehicle. And
Yes.
all it is a sticker package.
Yes.
Yep.
You have a little bit. The rear end, I think, is a
And
different.
then Transformers came out and they wrecked everything because they had a bumblebee one too.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a Camaro though.
It's not
okay.
as
It
cool
was
as
a
that.
Camaro.
It's not as cool as
Well, I
this
know
one.
this is just a it's 05. Yeah, I mean this is a nice.
But
You know.
but seriously though, they probably already got somebody that they've talked to that's interested in it.
They might, yeah.
And they're going to say, well,
He's
what's
probably-
it look like?
look, they're
It's
sales
coming in
guys, they'll
tomorrow.
do that.
It's coming in
You know?
tomorrow. I'll look at it
Right.
and I'll give you a true, because they're friends.
It's like, here we're gonna do. Hey, I can get you this. You want 10, right? They go like, I can get you this truck for 12.
Oh yeah, I know that's too funny. You know,
Sorry, guys.
Hey, look.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. You know,
know?
he can get whatever he wants for
Yeah.
it, as long
Yes.
as I know
As long
that
as you get what you want out of it.
long as I drive out of there with a $15,000 loan.
See, car salesmen, their job is to sell. That's it. They got to make the deal.
yeah.
So they do what they can.
They do.
They'll call their
Yep.
people. Their people will call. Look,
Yep.
I got this coming in tomorrow.
Yep.
You want to take a look at it? Blah blah blah.
Yep.
Here we go. So they're going to nitpick the crap out of the thing.
Yeah, of course they always do.
They always do, but you
I
hold
just
to
don't
your guns.
I just hope they don't
Just
see
hold to
some
your
of the
guns.
flaws, and they understand that there's flaws underneath. Perhaps.
There's not.
Perhaps.
There's not. I mean,
There's not.
you
Well,
had
there kind of is.
Don't tell me.
All right, I'm not going to say anything.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's
is.
nothing that's
I'm probably never buying another vehicle again anyhow. I'm going to keep my Jeep and that'll be it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
You know, I'll just get a new engine in
Get
it,
a new-
whatever.
Well, you talk about putting a new motor in it.
I have a couple times and it's still running good at 212.
I know somebody that can do it for you.
We know quite a few people now. Quite a few people.
Daytona Garage.
Daytona Garage.
They did me right. Thank
Yes,
God.
that's right. With your daughters.
Yeah. That was that talk about used vehicles. That was even me looking at it. I did not see the problems with it.
Wow. And that happens.
Yep.
And that was a 3.62, right? Or 3.8?
No, 3.8.
It's a 3.8.
Yep. 2011 3.8.
That's the older engine. That was the minivan engine.
Yep.
That's the minivan.
That's the mama van.
That's the underpowered vehicle that. I remember though. I test drove those, and when they first came out, I was like, "Oh,
it's
this is
not
great
too
looking."
bad.
But
It's not too bad.
But it's holding up better than the 3.6
really,
for maintenance. Yeah.
for maintenance.
But so the big thing is, if people would maintain your 3.6, it would probably beat the 3.8. And I've talked to people that like, no, the 3.6 is just unbelievable. People just don't service it right, and they don't get these things done. And they said, I know people that said, no, they're phenomenal. The 3.6 is a phenomenal engine. And I said, well, show me one. And then Jay goes, well, I got one.
Yep.
He's one of the few.
Yeah.
You know, that's.
I mean, that's a
you know,
secret.
That's exactly.
So it's lessons learned for you because this is going to be a 3.6 in it, right?
Yeah.
Or unless it's got the turbo. It's got the two.
No, that's one thing I checked off as not wanting.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't want the turbo. No.
Interesting. They're pretty quick. I
They're,
test drove
they're
them.
quick, but I agree with him. Even with the turbo, over time they fail, and when they fail, it's not a pretty sight.
Well, I mean, when they fail, you guys, it's fairly
It's
pricey
expensive.
to fix those things. I know that, I had to. I've got a turbo in the Chevy Cruze.
Yes.
100,000 miles, and it was just some oil thing
Yep.
cracked, and it was. They had to take the turbo out to get to it. It's
Yep.
really kind of,
it's
and it was
a lot of
expensive
work.
to fix, but
In a race car, they do.
it's not a big deal. Those are, that's part of the
But
Yeah.
when you're working in, my hands won't fit
Yeah.
in there.
right. I do like. I mean, I saw the turbo. I know it's quick. I've heard a lot of stories about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You
I
talk
drove one.
about it,
I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I was
it's-
kicking it.
Yeah, that's fine. I just no.
It was maybe get Matt's diesel. Matt's got that diesel.
He's got the diesel.
A
In?
Rubicon. He's got a
Oh, he's
diesel
got
Rubicon.
they don't make those anymore.
No. He loves it.
Yeah,
Good mileage.
it's got the turbo diesel. Is it turbo diesel or just diesel?
I'm not sure. They did make a turbo model.
Okay.
But some of them were. I'm not sure which ones here are normal aspirated
Right.
or turbo aspirated.
They're also more expensive, and you couldn't get a lot of this stuff in the 2-door. See, I'm looking for
Correct.
a 2-door,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. I didn't
Unless you
want-
go out in special order, what you want.
Yeah, true. I don't know if they even let you do that in a special order. I don't know if for a 2-door. I don't think it was.
No, you can go on and
Really?
build. Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe now.
But you're
see,
not
they
buying
don't have
new.
that.
He's-
No,
he's
they
buying-
don't
No,
have
I'm
the
just
diesel.
saying.
but
you can.
But I'm not buying it.
No, you're buying new, so you gotta
buying new.
you gotta work it.
Yeah.
You got to get out there. Have you even put your truck up for sale yet?
Nah. This was just a one-time thing. I'm glad I did it for the show. I
Okay,
didn't know.
when
I'm
you
like,
when you leave here tonight,
Yeah.
you go to wherever and get a for sale sign,
Yeah.
and you put it on the dash.
Or put it on Marketplace or Auto Trader, or
Right.
just put it out
I
there.
see a
Put
few
it
of
out
them
there
out
for
there.
15
Yeah.
and see what you get.
Yeah. I can. I will. I mean, I've done it before. I've done it with my Jeep.
Yeah.
You know, I've done it with the Jeep. No, but I mean, of course, the Jeep's different. I'm asking $5,000 for my Jeep. It's got the Ford. It's got the
Yep.
8.8 rear end. It's got the
Yep.
Cherokee front end. It drives fine. It needs work, obviously.
Yep.
It's a '97 Jeep, for crying out loud. You're not going to get something mint.
No, you're not going to get anything.
But it
mint.
drives fine. I drive it all the time. I still do nobody was. It's someone's got to be looking
Yes.
for that. That's the thing. It's not
Yep.
one of those.
Yeah.
It's not a collector's item.
No.
The '97 Wrangler is not really
No.
especially mine. Mine's
No.
kind of mine's a Franken Jeep
Yes,
because of
Frankenstein.
the
Yeah, it is.
so. But and that's fine. I'll keep that one. I'll try to sell. If I do make this deal, I'll have 2 Jeeps.
Yes.
Yes.
all.
And just make that one the beach vehicle.
It is the beach
Yeah.
vehicle. I do. It's the beach vehicle, and if I go off roading, wherever that goes, I know I still want it to, but it's got to be towed wherever it goes. I don't want to drive it.
Can't tow it with the 2-door, though.
Why not?
You have to flat tow it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to put it on a trailer.
I wouldn't be able to trailer. It's just
Yeah,
not
it's-
with a tow.
not-
That's all right. Yours, you could tow it, right?
I can tow it, yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, I definitely can tow it
Yes.
But that's true.
with the LJ too.
With the LJ, really?
Yeah.
Well, the
LJ will pull it.
the LJ will pull it. Yeah. Well, I mean, we still have to get to Ocala.
Well, it's closed. But Hard Rock's closed, but the Ocala, the trail is, the National Forest is still open. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess out there over there right now.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
with
fires
the
going
fires.
on.
Yeah,
and
but that should
everything
end
else.
soon because I know that if it hasn't already by the time this drops.
Yes.
Right.
Because we should be getting the rain. As of
Hopefully.
recording now, we haven't had much rain.
No.
But anyhow,
Yes.
Well,
all right.
and with that,
Thank you, everybody.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
And there you have it. Don't you feel smarter now? We'll drop more knowledge on you soon. Thanks for listening to the Off-Road Toolbox. Powered by Best Price Trailers.